What's up, everybody? Welcome back to We the Champs. As always, it's so good to see you. I'm your host, Jalen, and you guys are tuning in to the best sports show you ever tuned into. All right, let's get into this mix real quick. Of course, we're recapping college football week one's action, and give you guys a few takeaways, what I thought, what I saw, and what's soon to be. All right, so let us get into this, and we're going to start it off with these dogs, man. Come on now. I know y'all watched that game at 12 o'clock. Who can beat Georgia? And I do believe Clemson will be fine. All right. Um, you know, like I said before, the only person to stop Kirby Smart at full power was Nick Saban for the Roll Tide. And Sensei's not there anymore. So it's very curious to see who can really bring Georgia to the brink during this season. But I think it'll happen. I think Georgia will prevail. Of course, I'm a bit biased, as you can see. But it was a good game. Definitely a solid first half. Two strong defenses battling it out. I think with this game, I can take away more from Georgia. They just look super fast, athletic. Then Carson Beck is just sharp making his throws. I mean, you got to see some depth on that team with Trevor Etienne not in there. We had Robinson. And I believe the other Robinson running back had his knee injured. We even got to see Cash Jones down the lineup, a running back we hadn't seen much before. Yeah, dude, go Dogs for sure. And on the Clemson side of things, I know Dabo's getting a lot of smack back from not using the transfer portal. But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, these guys still get good players. The veteran player thing works for quite a few teams, but not everybody. So I can't just go ahead and say, oh, yeah, Dabo and them got smacked because they're not using the transfer portal. And this is still a pretty new feature in college football. So I just need some more data on that before I say, hey, that's the reason why Clemson's not looking like Clemson. One thing I did want to point out is Kubiak. I wasn't too bought into Clemson quarterback Kubiak. I seen him play before. He might have had some flashes of brilliance, some good arms here and there, but I hadn't seen enough in the past. And this Georgia game, they're not going to see this defense every week, of course, but I'm just not bought in on that quarterback. And I believe that is a big part of what's holding Clemson back. I mean, you're Clemson, man. How do you only score 3 points in a game? Like offense has been a big part of them since they had that really good run in college football. And look at the guys they had, Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence, two top-tier quarterbacks in college football and currently starters for their respective organizations in the league, in the NFL. So, yeah, definitely some work to be done there. I think Clemson will be fine. Now, as far as a playoff spot, let's take a peek at the rest of their schedule for the season. They got NC State, App State, NC State, Stanford. They play Florida State. Let's see here. They could round about the rest of the schedule and maybe sneak in a little playoff spot. As we've seen, FSU is down bad right now, and they play them on the schedule. Clemson should definitely be able to take that game. But looking at the rest of the slate here, of course, Georgia is their toughest part. And NC State, I didn't see NC State have too much of a great weekend. I know they got off to a slow start this past Saturday. So Clemson could push into a playoff spot. And then you look at this Georgia loss. Week one, it looks like, oh, man, 34-3. Damn, like I said, look who they're playing. It's Georgia. And by the end of the season, we know Georgia is going to be at a high spot, a high contingent team. So a 34-3 loss on Clemson's resume against Georgia in week one is not going to look bad to the college football playoff committee going in the future. But they do have some things to shore up, specifically Cade, forgot his name, that quarterback for Clemson, all right? Miami. flexing hard out there, man. Dude, I called this game. I want to look. I'm gonna have I'm gonna post up my parlay I played for you guys. All right, I'm gonna do some picks later this week, so you can check them out. All right, Miami flexed big time in this matchup in the Swamp against the Gators. I believe they came in as maybe a 2-point favorite. And I'm thinking, what the hell are we looking at here, dude? Miami is stacked, racked, and ready to bang, man. It started off kind of close. You know, they were taking some shots back and forth, but you just saw the difference out there in Miami, specifically with Cam Ward, Heisman. I can safely say this after week one. It's just week one, guys. Cam Ward, one of the Heisman favorites right now. He's going to make the difference in that team. A player like him makes the difference in coaching mistakes. Now, that's what we've been very critical about Mario Cristobal and the Miami coaching staff recently is the mistakes and decisions they made in the past, specifically against Georgia Tech, deciding to run the ball, getting a fumble takeaway, and Georgia Tech going down the field and scoring a touchdown to ice the game. But they just look really good, man. They brought in Damian Martinez, the Oregon State running back. He was a highly touted running back. I think he was the top transfer portal back other than Trevor Etienne going into the transfer portal in the offseason. And then Cam Ward, the prize quarterback. So Miami, they came into the season, saw what they had, saw two top-notch players and took them. And the Cam Ward pick was just a home run, man. I know it's early, but you're seeing how this guy delivers the ball. His poise in the pocket. He's just there like, oh, pressure? Let me step right here. More pressure? Oh, let me run. There was one throw he made. He's right-handed, running to the left side, throws the ball across his body, just pinpoint on the dot. Oh, my gosh, for a touchdown in the back of the end zone. It was brilliant. That was very impressive. I mean, he's having like little sidearm throws in there, just fitting it into those spots. Miami. I know going into this season, I wasn't too big on Florida, but I still see them as an SEC team that gets top tier talent. So not Clemson, I'm sorry. So Miami being able to bust Florida down 41-17 is definitely a statement win. I expect to see Miami shoot up in these standings. All right. And I was giving them one game to lose. At the most, they'll lose. I'll say they'll lose one game. All right, let's take a peek at the rest of their schedule. Virginia Tech, well, that's supposed to be a tough game. After Virginia Tech lost like that to Vanderbilt, I don't know anymore. We have Louisville on the schedule. We're still, jury's out on Louisville this season. Georgia Tech might be a tricky game they stick into, and they have to go play at Georgia Tech. So we'll see what kind of tear or what kind of streak Georgia Tech's on at that moment, and that's in Week 10 for Miami. And that's a home game for Georgia Tech. So that could be a sticky game right there. All right. They play Florida State, man. Florida State is looking like a little whipping post after they got defeated by Boston College last night. So that's another tricky one. Miami shouldn't lose more than one game, and they should run this thing all the way to the ACC title. My bad. As it appears. But, big shout out to them. Florida Gators is not looking good. I'll take this loss to Miami. I believe Florida was playing 7 AP top 25 pre-ranked teams this season. Billy Napier, bro, it's about to be a long year, kid or coach. All right. Big 10, big performances. And not so big performances. All right. So watch out for Penn State. Penn State had the best performance of the weekend by the powers of the Big Ten, in my opinion. They played West Virginia. If you looked at West Virginia coming into this season, they were a solid team, a perennial contender for the Big 12 title. So they're a solid team, definitely not a pushover team. And Penn State said, bump that. We about to push these boys over and get what we want and do what we do. And Penn State came out with that win, 34-12. Not a super dynamic win, but a very, very good, strong win for Penn State, especially in week 1, especially in the road going to West Virginia. I saw this more so coming out to be an arm's length game, and it wasn't so much just Penn State just running the table. I mean, before the delay of game, not delay of game, but the game got delayed to a rainstorm. I think they were up about 20-3 or 20-6 or something like that. But yeah, so Penn State's out here, and they really put the pressure on the gas pedal, something you don't see Penn State do. Like I said before, they get good recruits. They typically play really good defense. Just having over-the-top offense hasn't been so much in the identity for Penn State. I was taking Oregon preseason. I was taking Oregon to win the Big Ten preseason, man. Like I said, I don't quite believe in Ohio State like that. Not in their talent and what they can do. There's just something about picking Ohio State to win. But watch out for Penn State. I'm going to take a gander at their schedule real quick. So you look, Bowling Green, Kent State, Illinois, UCLA, USC. They play USC October 12th. That game could mean something big. And they play Ohio State. And then they have Maryland, Minnesota, Purdue, Washington. So, I damn near want to say Penn State's a lock for a playoff spot and a shot at the Big Ten title game. So just watch out for them. We're going to check out their play. We're going to definitely – the biggest thing right here now is with this showcase, Penn State is ahead in what's the word for it? In perspective to real analysts and fans, Penn State is ahead of Michigan and Oregon at the moment. Like I said, I know it's early. It's just week 1. However, in my perspective, I have the Ohio State right here, Penn State just right there. So for the rest of the season until they match up on November 12th, we're going to be comparing each of their performances against whatever level team they go against. All right. Okay. The rest of the Big Ten, Michigan didn't look too great. I believe Michigan's still going to be a strong team. I just think this is what we're doing with Michigan, like we do with a lot of top-notch teams. We compare them to the past more. To put it more in perspective, we compare them to the past national championship team, which was just last year for Michigan. They won an arm's length game against Fresno State, which people thought should have been, over a lot earlier. But this is still Michigan's style of football, slowly like a constrictor, squeezing out teams and just, really breaking away in the end. My only concern with them is they're playing 2 quarterbacks right now. I heard a quote from a coach not a long time ago, maybe like 2 years ago. If you have 2 quarterbacks that are getting significant play time, then you have no quarterbacks. It's like you got one here for this reason and one here for the other. So we're going to see what goes on right there. But I believe Michigan is still a strong team, but they have to figure some things out between Davis Warren and Alex Orji. We're going to have to decide who's the number 1 and who's the number 2, honestly. I mean, you can still have some packages. So say you played Warren, you can still have some packages for Orji to come in and do his thing. But I don't think it works the same way to have Alex Orji as your, preferred starting quarterback, getting most of the snaps, and having Warren come in to be the, solid pocket passer guy. But the jury's still out on Michigan, not ready to rule them out yet. They have a very, very big matchup against Texas this weekend, this Saturday at noon on Fox. I believe Texas is a minus 275 favorite. So before this weekend, guys, I have my pick for you. I'm leaning Texas right now, just based off the eye test, specifically what they can do on offense. So we know this Michigan defense is just gunning. So I'm not expecting any less than what I've seen from before. But offensively, we've got some work to do. Okay, but Texas versus Michigan, that's the game for the weekend. All right, and of course we had Ohio State beating the hell out of a poor team. They didn't cover though, which is interesting. They did not cover. No slide on them, no or nothing. But I think it was 58.5 for that weekend. All right. Another Big Ten teams. Oregon. Let's see. Let me check the score one more time for Oregon. Oregon beat Idaho 24-14. This is a game Oregon's supposed to win 64-14. What's going on there, guys? So Oregon is currently the number 3 team. I think they'll definitely slide back a little bit. They played Boise State this week. I think Boise State, this will be a get-right game for Oregon. I'm not going to overreact to this just quite yet. Just give me till week 2 and their performance against Boise State, and then, I'll really throw the hammer down on what I think Oregon is at the moment, all right? Okay, for the rest of Big Ten, Iowa actually put up some points against Illinois State, had a shutout 40-0. I definitely want to see more from Iowa against big competition. Iowa plays in-state rival Iowa State this weekend, and that is one of the games I'm most excited about. All right. We have a perennial Iowa Big 12 championship contender in Iowa State. My dark horse actually to win the Big 12. And then we have Iowa, another team that could be a dark horse to play in the Big 10 championship here and also vie for a college football playoff spot. So that's a low-key huge game this weekend that can determine a lot of things in college football. All right. So let's keep it moving here. All right. Big 12 contenders. What do we have? Oklahoma State looks solid. Oklahoma State, I think they host Arkansas this week. And we had Kansas State getting a win, as they should. I think it was like 40-something to 6. Okay, UT Martin, 41-6. And then we also had Kansas, ranked number 22, getting the victory, blowout to Lindenwood, 48-3. All right. So, and we also had West Virginia, losing a bad game to Penn State. The Big 12, like I said before, I believe this is going to be the most exciting college football conference for this season. We got so much to see. I'm really curious to see how many teams they can get into the college football playoffs. All right. We just don't know. We're not quite too sure. But let me look at the slate. Oh, yeah, and Iowa State. Iowa State plays Iowa this weekend for in-state supremacy. We got Kansas State going to Tulane. Tulane's not a bad team. That's a good game to watch. What else do we have here? In Utah, my bad. How can I forget Utah? Utah put up some numbers. They take on Baylor at home. Utah still the favorite at the moment to win the Big 12 with Cam Rising back, one of the best quarterbacks in college football. So Big 12, we haven't seen the Big 12 big matchups yet. So there's still more on store for them. All right. And the quarterbacks, Cam Rising, Avery Johnson, and damn, what's my guy's name? Is it Jalen Wilson for Kansas? Okay. ACC. All right, let's talk some ACC football. FSU, we mentioned before. They're down bad. They took a loss to Georgia Tech out in Ireland, and they lost last night to Boston College. That's the one that really hurts. The Georgia Tech loss hurt, but it got doubled down, and that loss to Boston College last night. All right. Damn it. I had the spread pulled out. I was going to play USC to cover against LSU, and Boston College to cover against FSU. Didn't play it, man. Guys, if y'all ever have a play that you're just super hot about, just run and play it. Just run and play it, unless you're on a bad streak, okay? But ACC, staying interesting, absolutely. Yeah, North Carolina escaping, surviving up in Minnesota. They were up 17-16. Minnesota missed the last-second field goal. The Tar Heels edged that one out. Go Heels. And Georgia Tech's 2-0 right now after the win against Florida State. And then they took on Georgia State this past weekend. I'm telling you, watch out for Georgia Tech, man. I've been saying that. I've been preaching that this week. Preseason. They play Syracuse this weekend. That should be a good game. They travel up to New York. So keep your eyes out for that one. Syracuse, they have Kyle McCord, Ohio State. Quarterback from last year who transferred out there to Georgia Tech. I'm sorry, Syracuse, okay? And what else we got going on for the ACC? Virginia Tech took that silly loss to Vanderbilt. Disappointed right there. Miami, like I said, Miami's my favorite to win the ACC at the moment. And then we have NC State playing Tennessee right here in my current city, Charlotte, right up the street, playing at Bank of America Stadium. They play 7:30. That's a huge, huge game right there. That'll say a lot about Tennessee and NC State. They got this victory. I know NC State was a little lackluster against West Carolina. They won 38-21. But if they happen to come out, beat Tennessee, and let's say beat them convincingly, then any doubts we've had from week one of NC State with the lackluster performance against West Carolina are thrown out the window. If they can come out here and beat Tennessee. So that's a really big game to keep an eye on, okay? Like I said, Clemson's a little down right now, but that happens when you run into Georgia, right? It's a buzzsaw, okay? And one more team, USC hitting hard. They got the victory against LSU. I think they're 6-point underdogs, maybe 5 or 4 points, but whatever. The defense is the eye-opening part, hence hitting hard by USC. It's just a defense. It's just like you just had a good feeling. I don't know if it's easy to tell because it's something we've been looking for, something USC has been slacking on for so long, but just a strong neck defense playing downhill, getting a hat on the ball, making the tackle, and making it difficult for a team to get uphill. I know we watched last year just USC just trading shots. I mean, they were up by so much on Colorado at one point last year. Colorado damn near came back and won the game. That's very impressive. And like we always said with Lincoln Riley's offense, I don't think he's ever had a bad or stagnant offense. Miller Moss waiting his turn to come out here and play, look like a superstar, diamond up LSU. And the run game was pretty effective. Of course, we know that's how they iced the game with the running back last night. USC is here, man. USC is here and strong in this Big Ten. So safe to say, I think USC is a dark horse in the Big Ten. Now, at the beginning of the season, if we get USC on the run for the next few weeks or whatever, then we can really be talking about USC making some noise, all right? Real quick. Let me see if I can pull up USC's schedule, okay? They had some good receivers out there, too. I know you guys saw number 10. Number 10 was, making some good on-body catches. So USC, Utah State. They play at Michigan. They play Penn. They take Penn State at home, and of course, the long-time rivalry. They play Notre Dame at home this year, so they have some tough matchups, but it's probably nothing they can't handle. Lincoln Riley's no stranger to big games, so I'm definitely excited to see USC this year. I'm glad they're playing. They look strong in that first game, so some exciting things to see. LSU, no big takeaway from LSU. I think they'll be fine. Their schedule saying they're not going to be fine. It'll be tough. I see LSU being a lot like they were last year, maybe losing one more game than they lost last year. But LSU is still a good team to watch out for, and they're still in contention for a strong college football playoff spot. All right. And one last team I want to get to, I have to get to Colorado. What to think about Colorado? Pretty much the same as last year right now. They played North Dakota State, or was it South Dakota State? One of those. A powerhouse in the FCS division. I wanted to see an arm's length game. By arm's length, guys, I meant, okay, they kept this team at bay. They tried to get a little close, but, they just kept them arm's length, kept them away. And I know it got within a touchdown at the end of the game. Pretty much the same stuff I saw last year. Shador being amazing, Travis Hunter being amazing. The other receiver, Jimmy Horn, was brilliant, having 7 catches for like 192 yards, I believe. Oh, and Travis Hunter with the hat trick. That was nice, too. And not running the ball. Now, I know they said they're throwing the ball because they can and they should, but come on. If you can run the ball and for sure ice the time, take away the time, shoot the clock away, that's what you would do. And that's just something they haven't been able to do. So we'll see. I see a lot of close games in their future. And they play Nebraska this week. All right, so the game with Nebraska is going to be, I don't know, man. Prime just got that effect, bro. Like, how do you make Colorado, this team that is mediocre team, just so interesting to watch, But this matchup with Nebraska is huge. It's Coach Prime and Coach Matt Rule's second year with the program. So, you want to make those leaps to the second year. I believe they're both ahead of their schedule. I mean, we can say that about Colorado. He inherited a 1-11 team. They won 4 games last year, and I believe they're on track to win more than 4 games this season. So, yeah, then we got the battle of the quarterback, Shador Sanders, Dylan Raiola, if I said that right, Raiola, freshman phenom from Nebraska. So, Colorado, Nebraska, not sure. They're going to get so many views for this game this weekend. I'm excited. I hope you're excited, guys. That's about all I have for you for this segment. Later, maybe tomorrow, later today, I'll do a video with some picks. My picks against the spread, over and unders, maybe Carolina Blue, a.k.a. my Pops might come on. But, guys, let's just be excited for some football. NFL starts this week, too. That's all I got to say. Go Dogs, go Tar Heels. We the champs. We out. Peace.